Good evening and welcome to another edition of the Sunday Bunch on SAFC Fan TV. With myself, a little bit different tonight. With myself in the studio right here, we have the legend that is Michael Bowers. Michael, have you had a good day today?
I've had a nice Sunday dinner earlier, so I'm nice and content. You had a good day? An interesting day?
Well, my day, I just don't even want to go there. But
we'll see. Interesting then.
Yeah, I knew that. If you've had something to eat, then it's been a good day for you.
Without doubt, it has. It definitely has.
Also, way down south, North London way, our resident Sunderland fan, Jacob down south. Have you had a good day, Jacob?
Yeah, not too bad. Pretty relaxed, to be honest. A little bit hungover after the Halloween celebrations last night. But yeah, pretty chilled out day, to be honest. Still annoyed and frustrated about the result yesterday, though.
You and me both.
Right, fair enough. And we are joined, talking of Halloween celebrations. He was at a Halloween party last night. Obviously, still got his costume on. Still wearing his costume at the moment. The Mad Mistake. Have you had a good day? And did your party go well last night?
Well, it wasn't my party, but it went well. Yes, definitely. Nice spread. A little bit of footage on me preview for the Sheffield Wednesday match, and it's always nice to have an extra hour in bed, so that made us feel loads better this morning. I got up, had a bad hangover in the middle of the night, but by 11 o'clock this morning when I crawled out of bed, it was absolutely perfectly fine.
Oh, good. And I know that you went for a run, did you?
I did. Went down Durham, took me a bit of family member down to Durham, dropped her off, then went for a run round by the river, put a coupon on, and I think the coupon's just come off, hopefully. So happy days today.
I don't know why you can't be like any other normal person who goes to a party, gets a hangover, and then stays in bed all day. You get up and go for a run.
Well, I've just made a nice steak dinner as well, so that was beautiful.
Oh, very nice. Right then, we are live, which means we are available via the live chat on there already. Las Palmas Macam was on a little bit earlier because he's always first, and he can't tune in tonight because he's actually on a plane to Gran Canaria. Tony Lee up there saying it should be an edgy show tonight. It's all about opinions. It is all about opinions, and you can all have your own say via the live chat if you want to do that. We'll say hi to David Spencer as well. DJ Earth is on there saying that we lose Tuesday night, the manager has to go. We will be getting into all that as well. So join us via the live chat if you want to do that. It wasn't a good day yesterday. Rotherham 5, Sunderland 1. So we'll pass this round then. I think we'll start with you, Jacob. The main reason for where it went wrong yesterday then, what do you think, Jacob?
A combination of things, Philly, to be honest. A lack of organisation in the side, a lack of, I would say, tactical nous, to be honest, a bit from the manager in order to change things up when the chips are down and reshuffle the pack in order for us to be more tighter at the back. That didn't change. A combination of players just not showing the right attitude. I mean, McGeady's red card. I mean, what is he doing there? To be honest, I mean, that just sums up right now. I would say questions need to be asked about some of the players in that squad. Do they really have the hunger and the desire to think that they are going to be promoted out of this league this season? And right now, with a result like that, that's our worst result since we dropped down into League One. Questions do need to be asked. And it was the manner we conceded the goals yesterday, though. It's worrying, to be honest. I know Lee Johnson, he likes to stick with the same style of play, keeping it on the deck, playing the ball out from the back, but they took advantage of us. They bullied us in every single department yesterday, like completely bullied off the ball in our defenders at the back, in the middle of the park as well. It could have gone either way before half-time. To be honest, I thought Rotherham deserved it thoroughly, to be honest. They were just the better side completely throughout the 90 minutes.
Right, fair enough. Just very quickly, on the live chat, we've got to say a massive thank you to Chris Prince, who's donated £4 by purchasing a super sticker. When somebody does that, you know what we do, don't you?
No, you mean this.
Don't forget, of course, it is free to use the live chat. However, super chat and super stickers are available to you if you would like to donate to the channel. It does help in the running of the channel, keeps us able to supply you with this content as well. We'll chuck at you then, Terry. The main reason you think why yesterday went wrong?
The lack of desire for me. The first 20 minutes, Rotherham in our faces. We didn't have any intensity. We were slow, sluggish, lethargic. We didn't seem to be motivated for the game whatsoever. We went a goal down pretty much straight away, and we got ourselves back into the game. That should have been a wake-up call there and then. Got ourselves back in the game, but we make the same mistakes over and over again. Kept giving the ball away. Look, 09 giving the ball away constantly. And we letting them come down the flanks. They're running riot past Winchester and Cirkin, and nobody was helping the two backs. Nobody's helping them. We had Diago on one side, who was too lazy to track back and do his duties, and McGeady on the other side. So they were getting skinned left every single time down either wing. The crosses were coming in left, right, and centre. Basic defending duties weren't being done yesterday. It wasn't being done at all. And when you thought at half-time things couldn't get any worse, we're going to make one or two decent changes. What goes and happens? Come out the second half. McGeady gets sent off, game over, simple as. Absolutely shocking performance from Sunderland. The only two players I would kind of not be too harsh on was Dan Neil and also Stewart up front, because Stewart scored a goal, hit the post, he tried his best, but the lack of the ability to supply him with any of the goods, the rest of the lads for me. I mean, Embleton's first game back was took off at half-time. So for me, I was always a bit harsh for me. I would have kept them on. They just needed a good kick up the arse at half-time. They needed a way of protecting the wing-backs and for the defenders to do the jobs. For a bit of passion from the players, that's all you want to see. A bit of passion, a bit of intensity. Where's Lee Johnson's high press? Where does it go? We get bullied off the park, and they take it. They just take it. It's shocking. As Alan Robinson says on the chat, Alan Robinson, 4 defeats in 14 matches is not promotion form. Have we improved this season? We all thought we had. I'm one of the people who as well gets carried away with the run of victories early on in the season. But when you look at the table now, we look at the form now, we look at the results now, have we actually improved this season? For me, that's the worst string of results in League One so far.
Right. On the chat then, Tony Lee says, as basically you just said there, Terry, bullied out of the game again, is what he says. Rob Cale, lack of backbone. David Spencer says that Lee has got a strong. We've got a Newcastle fan on here as well. Geordie Toon for Life says, as a Newcastle fan, I want to see you promoted. What do you need to buy in January to make you a stronger squad? Cheers, lads. Good show as always. Well, we'll get on to that, where we think we need to do that. Thanks for tuning in anyway. Also, Taffy Mackham says, we are the Man United of League One. No leaders, no identity, and a few too many stealing a wage. Michael, you watched it yesterday. Well, you watched it to a certain point.
Yeah, I was fickle. Then after 3-1 down, I've decided to switch the game off. So obviously you had to go watch it till the end. So I envy you. I don't envy you on that front. Where did it go wrong? I think there was so many things. I think there was, for one, I struggled to fathom how we could go to QPR, and you can say, oh, they changed it. Oh, yeah, but they still had Andre Gray. They still had, is it Sykes or Dykes? I keep forgetting what his name is. But I think he scored against Nottingham Forest on Friday night. You had Charlie Austin. You had Chair behind them. That's a much better side than what we usually come up against in League One. And from what I remember of that game, we matched them. We gave them a go. We made it very difficult for them. So I can't understand how you go from that to losing 5-1 in a game that was the biggest game of the season pretty much at that point. And I think the others have touched it. It's a lack of desire. It's a lack of urgency. It's a lack of tempo. And yeah, I am going to go and say lack of effort. I think there was so many players yesterday that just felt they wanted to coast through the game. They just didn't say. We tried to out-football Rotherham, and to an extent, idealistically, that's nice. But and this is where I will. So I love that Taffy Mackens put convinced the lads Tuesday night is a cup game. We'll be fine. Well, that's fine then. Finals, but I think it was just a lot. We just didn't seem to adapt to Rotherham's style of play. We didn't seem to adapt to what their tactics were, and obviously we'll get onto the calls whether Johnson should go or not. I don't believe that personally, but he deserves criticism yesterday where I felt we weren't street smart enough in the game. That was a game where we needed to be bullish, we needed to be physical, we needed to be hard to beat, hard to break down. We weren't any of those things, and for all that Rotherham fully deserved the 3 points, I felt someone gift-wrapped every single goal. There was not one of the goals that we conceded that I thought they had to really work hard for. First one, free header, somehow free header inside the 6-yard box. Second one, too easy, didn't stop the cross in the build-up. Third one, poor goal from a set piece, no one wanted to head the ball. Same with the fourth one, header at the back post. Fifth one, don't know what Hoffman's doing there. We did, obviously our goal, we actually had to work for it. We just basically gift-wrapped all other 5 goals on a plate. It was absolutely appalling.
Right, Terry, you was one in there.
Remember, we played well against QPR on Tuesday night, but we made 7 changes.
Yeah.
Then we reverted back to the 7 changes of the first team that comes in. Now, what's the point of having a cup game and the team playing out of the skin? Then for the first team to walk back in again, think they can just wear the shirt and just going to walk straight back into the team. Now, for me, a lot of those players tomorrow need to be dropped for Tuesday's game. And the players that perform in the cup matches, the players that show the passion, the hard work, are wanting to come off the bench and perform and make it to the first team, they need rewarding.
Jacob, you want in?
Yeah, completely agree what Terry said, to be honest. The players that play down at Loftus Road on Tuesday night, I think surely have got to be in the starting lineup at Hillsborough on Tuesday night. And to the likes of, Alves, who I thought had a decent game at QPR, Bailey Wright also, I think them as a centre-back pairing would do a more effective job right now than I know Doyle and Flanagan have been pretty solid throughout the season. But yesterday, Tom Flanagan, he had an absolute mare. Freddie Ladapo, he took the absolute mickey out of him at times for, I think he scored 2 goals in the end, or was it just the one?
Yeah, 2.
2 goals. He had a field of a day with Flanagan marking against him, particularly for the second one. And it's a bold statement from me, but I know he's made some key saves for us in some games I've seen him play, but I'm still not.
Let me stop you there because we are going to come on.
Is that a subject? Is that a subject?
Absolutely. Yeah. And if I let you ramble on, then you'll use all of my questions. And then
we'll be struggling for the hour.
So there you go.
Key position of the pitch. Good.
Right.
Key segment.
Right then. I mean, for me, I just don't understand how we can go from playing like we do. In fact, just even last Saturday, before we got beat to Charlton, if we'd won, we'd have been top of the league. And we are just in the matter of 7 days, we've gone from one extreme to the other. Just dreadful. Anyway, just quickly on the chat, Tony Lee says Lee Johnson is struggling. The job's too big for him. David K says disgusting performance. Been coming though. What's Lee Johnson's excuse now? Nothing to do with the weather. Need a formation change. Let's get on to this then, because there are a lot of people have come out and that's it. Lee Johnson's must go. He's not good enough and whatever. And as we've said, it's all about opinions. It doesn't necessarily mean we agree with that, but people can have their say. You've got to respect their opinion. And a lot of people are wanting Lee Johnson out now. So what are your thoughts on that? I'll start with you, Terry.
I can totally understand where they're coming from. It's a game of opinions. We all have our choice who we want to come in the first place. Lee Johnson was probably nobody's choice to come in the first place. But at the end of the day, I want him to succeed. I want him to do well. I want him to change it around and show he's the boss, not the players are a boss of him. I want him to make the changes, bring the changes. Don't be scared to make the changes. At the end of the day, he is the manager. He has to take it on the chin when they play badly. He gets the accolades when we perform well. Have we really performed well more than 3 times this season? We performed well against Wigan. We performed well against Wigan at the start of the season. And we performed well against Cheltenham. Is there any other performance in this season we've done really well? Or have we just scraped results? Because I feel like we've just scraped results a lot of the time. The Crew game might have been good in places, but for the first 20 minutes, they could have easily gone in front. Yeah. So we need to find...
Burton when we got beat.
Exactly, we lost though, didn't we? You know, we lost. We didn't find a way to break them down.
If you're talking about performances, though, then you've got to mention the Burton game.
Yeah, kind of. It was probably the best away. It was probably the best away performance we've had so far this season, but we lost. But at home, I've been every home match so far this season, and I can't recall a really good home game apart from the Cheltenham one when it was a really poor Cheltenham side, and the Wickham game. Every other game, it was ifs and buts. And Charlton, last weekend at home, we got bullied again. We're getting bullied too easy. We need players to stand up and wear this goddamn shirt with pride. Do they care about the club? Do they care about the fans? Do you know what? I do believe Luke O'Nien actually cares, but I think it's time for him to take a rest because he's had that many knocks. He's got that many injuries going on in his body. I think it's time for him to take a break and bring Evans back in.
Right. Jacob?
I think obviously, I do understand what Terry's saying. I wouldn't say necessarily it's a case of players not understanding the pride and passion of playing for the shirt. I think the one thing that players right now at Sunderland Football Club are lacking is confidence and also being able to handle pressure, because even at this stage of the season, if you're unable to handle pressure in key games, what are you going to be like at the back end of the season? And for me, that's been a massive factor of why we haven't gone up the last 4 years. There's too many players in that dressing room that they can't string together a good run of about 3 or 4 performances, decent performances together. It's all mixed. It's all like, we play decent one game and then the next game we're back to completely mediocre. And yeah, it does need to change. Whether that comes from the manager, who knows? But what frightened me was a lack of leadership on the pitch yesterday. Really, really frightened me.
On the chat then, go on, Terry, we'll come in first.
Leadership should have been come from McGeady, but I saw no leadership from McGeady at all. McGeady was the first one to bottle it, to give it away.
You fancied a holiday?
I don't understand what was going through him. There was no need to do the rash challenge for the second one like he did. You know, we only 1 goal behind. We might have been 2 down at the time, but there was still a chance to get back into it. When you go down to 10 men away from home and you're 3-1 down, you haven't got a chance.
Yeah.
John Thompson on the chat says, as I predicted last week, we are on a losing run. Tuesday will be no different. LJ is to blame. Poor prep, poor substitutions, and experienced players like McGeady blowing it. LJ has to go. Jeff Allcroft, Spannerman, says, don't think we'll get rid. At the end of the day, Rotherham are one of the top sides in the division. And Dane says, Lee Johnson keeps saying, I'm learning from my players. He's almost been in charge for a year, so come on, man. Really, he doesn't have to talk some rubbish. Michael, Lee Johnson, a lot of people call him for his head. Your thoughts on it?
I'm not one of them. I think that we've obviously had to change a lot of the culture of the club this summer. And that, by the way, if anyone says it's not an excuse, it's fact. We have had to change a lot of the way that we've done it this summer. But at the same time, just because I don't think you should go doesn't mean you shouldn't get criticism. I think you should do. Like I said, I think yesterday was a case of we weren't street smart. We didn't, in certain games, and this is where Lee Johnson does have to learn this, that you can't just keep playing football the way you want and think, oh, well, that's it. We'll play this football and we'll end up winning every game because of it. The games like yesterday, we need to be ugly. We need to do the ugly side of the game. We need to battle through it. Because yes, Rotherham are one of the more top end teams of the division, but at the end of the day, there was no excuse for us to put in that performance. And yes, you can say we made the changes at QPR, but I'm sorry, this was a huge game against the side that have now we've allowed to overtake us and have drastically increased their goal difference ahead of us. That isn't good enough. And this is where, and I think Lee Johnson going into it. I mean, to be fair, Taffy Mackham, I can't remember when he said it, but he made the comment that, to be fair, that when no one complained at that team when it was announced, and that's a fair comment. I think that team should still have been good enough to go to Rotherham and get a result. But obviously hindsight is a wonderful thing. But there's certain things that Johnson does that I do think deserve to be called out. You look at like continuing to start Luke O'Nien. I love Luke O'Nien. I love Luke O'Nien a bit, but he's got to come out of the team. I think sometimes, well, first of all, he's playing with the shoulder that could pop any minute, and I think that he just sometimes the midfield tends to pass him by. I think if we can get Corey Evans to be fit, then that's the issue, isn't it? But yeah, I mean, I don't know. What's your thoughts on it then?
I think it's ridiculous people calling for Lee Johnson to go. It just, I'm still putting it down to a blip. I know people are saying here. You got David Spence says, remember Rotherham won the second tier last season. What I'll put to you as well while we're on this then, and me and Michael touched on this before we came on air anyway, was that were Rotherham actually that good, or were we that bad that they looked like as good as they did? Because personally, I thought they made lots of mistakes. I mean, we were terrible. We couldn't pass the ball. We were giving the ball away. We were just dreadful. But on a lot of occasions, they made sloppy mistakes as well. And I think they were falling over a lot and what have you. So were Rotherham really that good, Terry?
Well, for starters, I wouldn't have played McGeady and Diaco in the same team, not away from home, with a team that could bully you. I didn't think that was the right pick. I also said I wanted to rest Luke O'Nien because I think he'd been playing, with a few injuries and he's due to have a rest to get himself sorted out. So I would have started Evans. Were they that good? No, we were terrible. We were awful. We kind of passed the ball. We give the ball away. As soon as we get the ball, we give the ball away. Let them free rein down each flank, 3 crosses into the box and 3 headers. There's no point Flanagan crawling around on the ground, thumping the ground like a little baby after the goal goes in. Do that beforehand. Get some passion about you. Put your head in. Clear the ball away. He's on the ground, rolling around, punching the floor. You're one of the problems yesterday. You need to do that before the goal goes in. We were the architect of our own downfall yesterday. The architect. We drag ourselves back into the game, and then we give it away again. Shock them.
Michael, your thoughts on it? Were Rotherham good, or were we, just really that bad it made them look good?
I thought Rotherham were average. From what I watched of the game, I didn't, like I said, you guys can comment on the last 25 minutes or whatever it is, but from what I saw, I didn't think Rotherham were all that. I felt Sunderland were just that terrible, and we basically just bent over and said, here you go, just take us up the backside. There was just nothing. I just thought Sunderland were that bad that we made Rotherham look better. And I'm not trying to disrespect Rotherham because they've been on a great run. I think they've won something 8 of their last 10 or whatever it is. So that does deserve respect. But at the end of the day, they didn't have to be great to beat us. That the only goal in the game, by the way, Rotherham won't care about this, and I don't blame them for this. But if you look at it, the only goal that I thought was really well worked in the game was ours. Our goal from Stewart was really well worked when he came in from the left-hand side, kept hold of the ball, beat his man, and then managed to place the ball at the bottom corner. Like I said earlier, every single Rotherham goal was literally they didn't have to work hard for it. And I felt it was just severe lack of effort and application from Sunderland as to why the scoreline was as big as it was. And obviously, we touched on McGeady sending off, that was just idiotic, full stop. So no, personally, without trying to sound like sour grapes, I didn't think Rotherham were that good.
Right, I'll come to you just now, Jacob. I quickly want to go to the chat. Tom Wallace, thanks for your kind words there. He says, it is streaky. We just need more winning streaks than losing streaks. It might be that easy. Fair comment. Hopefully. Jacob, were Rotherham really that good yesterday?
To be honest, Philly, I don't think, watching a lot of the teams in League One this season, I don't think there's a particular main standout side for being better than the rest of the teams in the division. I think it's a case of how you set up tactically on the day to win the game. And I think Rotherham yesterday, I know they probably have done that for the past few games because I think they're one of the most informed sides in the league right now, considering also, don't forget, they're a side that's come down from the Championship. Yesterday, I think tactically they were spot on. If you notice, every time we played the ball out from the back, get it to Sirkin or Winchester on the other side, their forwards, Smith and Ladapo, they were onto them like a flash. And we didn't know how to handle that. That's one of the tweets I saw yesterday after the game was, we don't have a plan B into dealing with that. And when I personally like playing the ball out from the back. It's my type of football. But when you're in this division and you've got a striker like Ross Stewart up there who has got good hold-up play, there's no harm in hoofing it long at the end of the day. And I personally felt that is something we should have resorted more to yet. I know it's not pretty to watch at times, but Ross Stewart's got the capability up there. He can bring others into play. We've got decent attacking players at the other end of the pitch. It's just how quickly we get the ball up to them. And what Michael said, our build-up play to the goal Stewart scored was absolutely terrific. It was probably 09's best bit of play he did yesterday, him linking up with Dan Neil, Dan Neil's brilliant. I think it was Dan Neil played the through ball, and then Ross Stewart, brilliant work in the box and used his feet to great effect, put it in the bottom corner. But that is something we need to do more of. It's just how quickly we do it. And at the back, I'm terrified watching this current back four at the moment. Changes need to be made.
Right. We've got loads of topics to get through on this because loads of different talking points. Terry, you was one in there.
Yeah, I mean, Rotherham 100% deserved the victory. Far better team on the day. I just think when we get in the final third, we look really good going forward. It's just getting to that position. It's the defence that's struggling at the moment. And Lee Johnson, hopefully, will learn. He'll learn. He's only a young manager, and he's going to learn throughout the season. And I hope he learns from his tactical, what he's done yesterday and other games like against Portsmouth. And I hope he can find a plan B, and come good.
I just think, watching it myself yesterday as well, we were getting the ball, and the fact that we couldn't even pass the ball to each other. What happened so many times yesterday for me was Hoffman would get the ball and we would do this thing where we'd play it from the back and we're passing it across the back four. And because we couldn't pass it to each other, we would lose the ball that many times. And when you lose that ball, your ball there in that position, it puts the opponents in a strong position. And so many times they got the ball off us and they were on the edge of our box because we'd given it away. It was just all so sloppy, just unbelievable. What I will put to you next. Oh, go on, Jacob, you want in there?
What you were saying there, Philly, if we're going to continue to play that style, playing the ball out from the back, you have to have an extra man there. And we've done that at QPR, even at times. Corey Evans, I know he's technically a central defensive midfield player, but at times he was slotted into a back three and it worked. The combination play between Wright, him and Alves, apologies there, was really good to see. And, getting the ball out quicker to the fullbacks and just being on it in terms of the positional play. But as a back four yesterday, I think the current back four we're playing with Sirkin, Doyle, Flanagan and Winchester at right back, it's getting tactically exposed right now. And we need to have a new back line to start a winning streak and stop conceding goals.
Right. What we'll do then, the question I'll put to you now, we'll start with you, Michael, actually.
Okay.
Did McGeady want to be sent off yesterday? Obviously, the team were losing, weren't playing very well, because I can't see any explanation for what he did. Do you want to be sent off?
You can make an argument for that. Would I go as far as say he wants to be sent off? I don't know. If he did want to get sent off, it wouldn't totally surprise me, which is disgusting considering that he's the captain. And he's, of all the players Sunderland have had over the last few years, McGeady is the one that I've always looked to, especially when we've been in League One, and thought, actually, the standards have got to be much better. And then he goes and does that when we're 3-1 down. And yeah, it was 3-1. I didn't think we'd get back in it, but there's a chance with 11 men. If we booked our ideas up, we could have got back in the game. That red card, or that second yellow, just completely kills any hope of getting back into the game. So, while you can say that no player does want to get sent off, I think it was why did McGeady do it then? It was just, the only thing I can think of is frustration, but it's not an excuse. You're the captain. You're supposed to be setting, I don't know, you're supposed to be setting a good example, and you just didn't.
Terry?
No, of course he didn't want to be sent off. He was just frustrated. He was probably angry at the way the team was playing. He just saw red, simple as. He went in, a rash challenge, and afterwards he probably regrets it. But, it's just one of those things.
Terry, but somebody that experienced, the captain of the team, saying he just lost it, is just not good enough. Do you know what I mean?
That's just part of someone's temperament, isn't it? It must be in him somewhere because he just lost it that moment in time. He doesn't want to be sent off. He thought he could get the ball. He was late. That's all he is to it. But this thing about changing the whole back four, we cannot change the whole back four because we've got no right back. We have no recognised right back at the club, which was a failing by the owners and also Lee Johnson at the beginning of the season. Yes, Winchester's done perfectly fine there, had a great season there, but what happens if Winchester gets knackered? Huggins is a natural left back. Huggins isn't a natural right back, he's a left back. So we've got no recognised right back there. Unfortunately, Huggins is injured, so he can't take Cirkin's place. Hume's now out for 6 to 8 weeks, so we're left with Cirkin and Winchester. So we have to find a way to make sure these two play better, or to protect them. And that's by getting some Aidan O'Brien on the left-hand side, Gooch on the right-hand side to track back and do a lot of donkey work to help these two out. Because yesterday, you got Jarku and McGeady did no backtracking at all. And they were found out time and time again. This is what teams are going to do to us now. They know what our weakest links are now.
AJJ on the chat says Huggins is right-footed and also...
He was born as a left-back. Look at that. He's a left-back. That's his natural position. He can play right-back. He's played right back, but he's actually likes left back. It's his preferred position.
AJJ also says, can Elvis play right back? Got to give him a run out now.
I think he can, yeah.
Jacob, you was one in there.
It's a difficult. I understand what Terry's saying. You know, the fullback situation right now, it is worrying. You know, injuries are creeping in there. Obviously, Hume coming off injured at QPR on Tuesday. Huggins, I think, is going to be out. I think.
Hang on, Jacob, who's Huggins? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he'll be out, looks like, to the new year at least. So, yeah, it's a key position of the team, particularly the way how Lee Johnson likes to play, playing the ball out from the back to them. And right now, it's where do we go? These players are getting exposed, man. It's not looking good. I'm worried.
Fair enough. It's depressing. It really is. I mean, yesterday was just, I went to work so depressed after that and doing the commentary on it, and I'm sure you were the same yourself, Terry, when you did that. It just didn't look good at all. Question I'll put out to you then. Lee Burge on Tuesday night in an absolute blinder. Terry, you made the point earlier that these players come in, they have a brilliant game, and all of a sudden they're cast aside, and these players come in and as though they have a divine right to a place in that first team. Nobody knew that Hoffman was going to play like he did yesterday, but should he play on Tuesday? Terry?
The thing with Hoffman, right, is that he's going to be a class player in the future, and he's going to make mistakes like yesterday, but it doesn't help when you have a back line that can't pass the ball around. So, again, they were the architect of their own downfall. But then Hoffman kept doing the same thing over and over again, and they kept on giving the ball away over and over again. He had a bad game, yes. Does that mean he should be dropped? Possibly, yes. If it was my opinion, I'd give him a rest for Tuesday. I'd say, look, you've had a bad day at the office. Tackle the game off, see how Burge does, bring Burge in. Burge played brilliant. You know, he deserves his chance. Hoffman's made a mistake. If that was Lee Burge yesterday, it would have been chastised. It would have been criticised. It would have been said he's absolutely useless, hopeless. Get him out the side completely, because it's Hoffman. You know, as a young lad from Germany on loan, he's being brought in with probably the assurances from Lee Johnson that he has to start matches. But when you have a bad game, you just sit one out, simple as. Let him recuperate, let him have a rest, let him think about what went wrong yesterday and put it right with the rest of the team. I think Lee Burge deserves a start Tuesday night. Why not?
Fair enough. Just quickly on the chat, Ian Wilkinson says Burge is the better keeper. Dino would absolutely love him.
I was saying, where's Dino when you need him?
Thane says Hoffman's throws are absolutely terrible. I mean, Hoffman, to be fair, has been brilliant and has won us a lot of games. But you have to say, where is the incentive to these players who are being brought in for these cup games to play out of their skin and be brilliant as they are to then go, you know what? I put in a performance like that. I played absolutely superb. And where does it get me? You know, so there's got to be, you know, we do fortunately have that more strength and depth now, so we are able to do that. Terry?
Look, it isn't the end of the world for Hoffman. It isn't the end of the world. He's a young, promising goalkeeper. What's wrong with him having a little bit of a rest? Nothing at all. It's not against the law. People go mental when they say, oh, you drop a play because you've made a mistake. The other lad, Burge, has done fantastically well. Like you said, Phil, where's the incentive? You play out with your skin. You're the keeper has an awful game. It's time for him to come in and just take his place and leave Burge his chance. Let Hoffman have a little bit of a rest.
Right. I'll come to you next, Jacob, on this. 185 people on the chat at the moment, 57 likes. Can we just hit the thumbs up, please? We'd like to try and hit 100 if we can. If you're watching the channel and you haven't yet subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. It's free to do so, and that will help us out immensely. Jacob, should Hoffman play on Tuesday?
I don't think he should, to be honest. I would give him a rest. I completely agree with Terry. The one thing that worries me about him, if you look at Rotherham's third goal yesterday, the one they scored from the corner, he looks absolutely terrified when he's trying to command his box and come out for crosses. And he looks like he's just being bullied by the opposition's forward line. And you're on edge every time that the opposition get a set piece, because the one thing about Berge is he is commanding in that department. Like, you can always pick him out in the penalty area of where potentially he's going to be and if he's going to come and claim the cross or not. With Hoffman, you don't know what he's going to do, whether he's going to come off his line, flap it, or stay on his line and potentially get, man marked or, pushed out of the way by the centre forward or the centre half that's in the box. With Hoffman, another thing also is, one thing yesterday was it throwing the ball out quickly when we had the chance to break. He didn't do that enough. And at times, I know he's made some key saves for us. Look at that one at Gillingham.
Yeah.
Away when we won 2-1, when we beat Accrington at home 2-1. He made a key save in that game. But his kicking at times is atrocious. I'm sorry, like, how hard can it be for a goalkeeper to kick a ball in a straight line? It really does my head in. Me and Michael were saying this down at Gillingham. I know he made that great save at the end, but Michael, the amount of time
I was going mental. Jacob can testify. I was going ridiculous.
Half his kicks went out for a throw, like more or less towards our dugout. Like, when you've got a tall physical striker like Ross Stewart, surely like aim for him, like kick it in a straight line, practice your kicks midweek, go down the middle, and you'll find the main man up front. Just like going it to the left or right of the pitch. Like, I don't get it. I really don't.
Right. There are a couple of fans of yours, Terry, on here at the moment. Camper, Terry knows his stuff. And also down there, David Joblin. Terry, good match review. He enjoyed that. Terry.
Remember, it wasn't all Hoffman's fault. The defenders did him no help at all. I mean, basic crosses coming across. Flanagan and Doyle were nowhere to be found, and even Wright in the second half. So, it's basic defending. I mean, Hoffman's not instilling these defenders with any confidence, but the defenders are not instilling Hoffman with any confidence. So it's time to make a change all around, I think.
He's not a big talker, Hoffman. That's one thing I noticed. Berge on Tuesday night, he was on it with his back line, like telling them to get into position. You man mark Andre Gray. You go and track the runner on the other side. You go and track their left winger. But Hoffman, it's sort of like when he's called upon, he's called upon. Like, there's not much talking coming out of his mouth to organise his back line. And you need that from a goalkeeper. But he will get better. I still have faith he will get better as the season goes along.
Well, does it not just show the fickleness of football fans when we're on about saying give Lee Burge a chance? Because Lee Burge, to be honest, gets absolutely slated, certainly on here. And we've never seen it. We've always said he's been all right. But again, it was a bad day at the office for Hoffman. Michael, should he play on Tuesday?
The argument I could see in favour of playing him is the fact that if you drop him, it kind of, well, I don't want anyone saying Hoffman's like, Steele or Camper, for goodness me. But that season, probably because we had two awful keepers that we had to keep dropping and changing, and it wasn't helping the team. And as a defender, you need a defender and goalkeeper. That is communication and trust is such a vital part of the back line in the game. So, yeah, on performance basis, yes, Hoffman probably does deserve to be dropped, because you need to remember that you can't mess around with him. I mean, if you get again, the fifth goal was purely down to his fault. Obviously, Rob Kay was saying the back four also weren't very good. I think I saw some people say blaming Hoffman for the first goal. For me, that's just as bad, poor, awful marking. But I do agree also as well that Burge, given how well he played against QPR by the sound of it, and I still think Burge gets overly criticised for every little mistake that he makes, but yet when he does something good, funny how they don't seem to want to mention it. I think I could see arguments either way. If it was my decision, I probably would play Burge. But let's just hope Hoffman learns from it.
Well, Rob K on the chat says the back four were also rubbish, to be fair, which is what we said. I mean, yes, Hoffman let 5 goals in, but that wasn't just purely down to him. I want to say a thank you to Gordon Greaves, who's renewed his membership to the channel. Don't forget, you can become a member for $1.99 a month. That is less than 50 pence a week to become a member of the channel. You get your members badge and members content available to you. Also, referees' performance, just very quickly. Jacob, what did you think?
I think at times, particularly in the first half, I think he was blowing his whistle for too many free kicks. Like, just allow a more free-flowing game. Like, referees that just want to be, you get those, particularly down in this division. There's too many of them that they more or less just want to be the star of the show. It's all about me. It's all about the decisions I make. And
agreed.
Yeah, I got that impression from this one we had yesterday, just in the first half as well. Like, even though I think we're 1-0 down at this point, it wasn't a good game to watch at all. And it calmed down a bit towards the end of the half when both teams were going at it and we got the equaliser. But it was just, particularly in our own half, the amount of free kicks he was blowing for Rotherham was, it was frustrating watch. It really was.
Well, just quickly for me, I'll bring you in just now, Terry. I thought I didn't think he had that bad a game, really. I mean, it was only from a point of view that I thought he gave them more than us, but I don't think it was that bad. Terry?
I mean, come on, kind of blame referee for yesterday. Let's face it. How many free kicks did we give away? We must have given those about 40 plus free kicks. And that was purely from our players having a bad day. You cannot keep on diving in left, right and centre and giving away silly free kicks. You're giving them an opportunity to put the ball in the box time after time after time again. It was just like copy and paste all the way through the game. Free kick. It's pathetic, man. It wasn't until we got into their half we started to play football.
Right. What do you think then, Michael? Referee's performance, was he all right?
Compared to last week's, yes. I didn't notice well, obviously there's a couple of times the referee blew for too many free kicks. Every time contact was made, it was a free kick. But to be fair, that's no different than most refs I see in this league. We've talked about the referees. They're just the part-time refs, and we need to get full-time refs employed who actually know what decisions are. But compared to last week's, he wasn't actually that bad. I was just more annoyed at the performance.
Well, DJ on the chat says he blames the pitch. It was too dry.
I like that, to be fair.
Well, before we move on from this, because it is depressing, is it just a blip? It is Rotherham we played. They are going to be one of the teams who's probably going to go up automatically anyway. We're playing them away from home. Terry, is it a blip?
Is it just a blip though, Philly? Is it? We get smashed against Portsmouth. We get smashed against Rotherham. We get bullied against Charlton. There's 3 teams. How many more teams are going to do this? We've got to play the likes of, I don't know, we've got Lincoln, Ipswich coming up. Then we've got other good teams there. Plymouth coming up. Are we going to get bullied every single match? Are we going to learn from our mistakes? Are we going to try and do something different? Yes, players like Flanagan's had a good, 4, 5, 7 or 8 games. But they had bad games against Portsmouth and Rotherham. So these bad games are going to start taking its toll. It's time now to shake things up a bit. Reward the players for playing well in the cup matches.
Michael, is this just a blip?
We'll find out in coming games, won't we? If this continues, then it's not a blip. I'm not necessarily agreeing to the fact that it's a losing run, because if it was a losing run, we wouldn't have beat Gillingham and Crewe. And I don't want anyone giving me this, oh yeah, Gillingham and Crewe down the bottom. Gillingham, we were down to 10 men for the last half an hour and we had to defend manfully to win the game. That's how you defend, not like yesterday. Whereas Crewe, we ended up winning that game, and we wouldn't have beat QPR if this was a losing run. But my tune will change if we lose on Tuesday and then we'll start losing to teams coming up in the league. I mean, like Terry mentioned, Lincoln. To be honest, I think Lincoln will get moved anyway. And 2, brutally, I'd be very disappointed not to beat them at home. Be very disappointed given how they've started the season.
Well, you know what? I think it's a massive, massive overreaction from everybody.
We'll find out, won't we?
I really do. I think where we're sat in the league, we've got a game in hand and everything, and we have this defeat down there. It was a bad defeat. And again, I said to Mal before we came on air, I could have handled losing 5-1 if we'd have put a shift in right? If we'd have done that, behave yourself, Terry. Look where we are.
Happy clapper. Here we go. He's a happy clapper.
Behave yourself.
We got smashed, took it up the arse against Portsmouth, smashed against Rotherham, shite against Charlton. How many games are we going to play shite until we change it around a little bit?
You were just.
Are you accepting yesterday as a wonderful blip?
You're overreacting.
This is nice.
It was just a crap performance, right? And what hurts more is I could have lived with being beaten 5-1 if we'd have put a shift in and tried, and we just didn't, and we're rubbish. Now, if we go to Sheffield Wednesday, and I would love it if we get something from them, right?
Right, Mr.
Keegan.
If we go to Sheffield Wednesday on Tuesday and we win, all of a sudden, everything's a bit rosy again. We're in a good position. We're near the top. We've still got that game in hand. And this year, we've gone to Rotherham and we've got beat. And it was a crap performance. And everybody is panicking. Terry.
Let me stop you there. Sheffield Wednesday is the game in hand.
Right. Well, no, we're gonna play on Tuesday night as well.
But they're playing an extra game for the sake of it.
Well, that'll give us a game in hand over Wigan. In fact, it will do. Anyway, Michael.
But we'll need it because they're 3 points ahead of us now.
Well, anyway, we win on Tuesday, and it's a completely different scenario again. People look at it again.
I agree with
that. What happens when we go to Sheffield Wednesday on Tuesday and we win 4-0?
Then what happens if we play Ipswich at home and get beat 4-0? It's all ifs and buts. Are you happy to win 2, then lose 1?
Well, okay, Terry, put it this way. If you win 2, lose 1 over the course of the season, you get automatic promotion.
But we'll have some draws in there as well.
But that wasn't what you said. You said win 2, lose 1.
Thanks, Michael. High five. So stick that in your pipe, mad mistake.
I'll point out Jeff Holcroft's comment. Man, you got humped. And obviously they got beat 5-0 last week. And then they went and won 3-0. So wait until Tuesday, I think, before we can really talk about this.
Jacob, you're one in there.
What we need is a good run of wins put together. It's all
that's fair.
Watching Sunderland right now, you don't know what type of performance you're going to get. You know, probably on Tuesday we will go to Sheffield and win, but after that, I think depending on whether that Lincoln game gets played or not because of international call-ups, then again we could play Ipswich at home and get played off the park like we did. I wouldn't say against Charlton we got played off the park, but what the word that Terry used, bullied. But Philly, one thing I must say, even in the games that we've won in this season, there's been some I can pick out where I don't think we've played to our full potential at all. Really look at the games against Wimbledon at home. I thought we were hanging on towards the end. Bolton at home, I thought we were poor. That 1-0 win where Carl Winchester scored, and Gillingham away, I thought for 45 minutes, it looked like there was only going to be one winner, and we almost costed the game. Was it in the latter stages with Embleton's red card and we're on the back foot? So, yeah, it's what Terry said right now. There has been moments where you do question whether have we got the capability to really mount a promotion challenge again properly this season. Has there been much difference in terms of our overall play from last season, apart from just new players coming in?
Right. I agree. Some of the performances were rubbish. However, that's a good thing that we can win when we've not played very well. Question I want to put to you, Terry. Right at the start of the season, right after 14 games played, 28 points, 5th position. Would you have been happy at the start of the season if someone had said to you, "This is where we'll be after 14 games"?
No. Plymouth top of the table, no. If they also said you're going to get smashed by Rotherham 5-1, smashed and bullied by Portsmouth 4-0, and get beat off a team at second off bottom at home, will I be happy? Of course I wouldn't be happy, for God's sake. We need to get promoted from this season. We need to get promoted from this league, man, for God's sake. 30,000 plus fans doesn't guarantee a promotion. But we need to do better. We need to do better. The players need to stand up and take it on the chin and do better. Lee Johnson needs to learn from these mistakes. Lee Johnson needs to grow as a manager. If he changes or does something different and bring other players in, it might just be a blip. We might get 3 or 4 games running and winning games. You don't know. It's all ifs and buts. But would I be happy in 5th place? Don't be stupid.
What honestly, man, you're too harsh. Simple as that.
If the season stops now, we don't get promoted. We're in the playoffs. Are you happy with the playoffs again, Phil? Are you happy with the playoffs again, Phil? Would you take the playoffs now?
When does the season stop after 14
Thank
games?
you, Michael.
Would you take the playoffs now?
Terry, when does the season stop after 14
Yeah, but you're saying, are you going to be happy at this point of the season? I'm saying no, but you're questioning my opinion. I'm saying to you, if the season stops now, are you happy with the playoffs?
But it doesn't stop now.
Are you happy at the end of the season with the playoffs then?
But it doesn't stop now. It stops.
If the season, if you're happy at the end of the season with the playoffs, yes or no?
No.
No, but there you go. Stop talking rubbish, saying they're happy now in 5th place. What a load of bollocks. We should be in the top 2. We've thrown away points left, right, and centre. We should be in the top 2, simple as.
The question wasn't, is it going to stop now? The question was, are you happy after 14 games? It's a start.
And I fucking told you! How many fucking times was to say it? No, I'm not happy.
I have to tell you, it's a 46-game
Go on,
season,
Terry.
man.
Jesus Christ, I answered the question and you're coming up with more shite.
No, the thing
Oh,
is,
more shy because we disagree. All right. Okay.
No, you're trying to
I'm
say.
sick of stuff like that.
You're trying to say that the season ends after 14 games. You can't say what if the season ends.
We'll go back to your original question. I've told you, no, I'm not happy. But they wouldn't have it. You wouldn't have it. So I've got to go and say something else, don't I? Yeah, I answer your question. Are you happy with the answer? No, because it's not what you want to hear.
But you're exactly the same. You're not listening to what we're saying.
I am. I answered your flaming question.
You didn't?
I answered your flaming question. Simple as.
No, you didn't. You bloody well didn't.
Right.
I did.
You didn't.
I answered Phil's question, not yours, Michael. You never asked me a question. Phil asked us a question.
You didn't answer mine, so there you go.
Well, I don't want to answer your question, do I?
Don't go Phil saying you didn't answer his question. You're not going to do the same for me then.
I'm not happy with 5th place at all. Simple as. Whether you like it or not.
Right, I forgot.
Never allowed a bloody opinion to disagree with anyone anymore.
I forgot where we're at now. Right. Well, anyway, all I said, Terry, is you're wrong. Right.
But there we go. There you go. I'm wrong because it's my opinion, not yours.
Yeah.
It's all about opinions,
just very quickly, 210 people on the stream at the moment, 85 likes, and 15 people can hit the thumbs up. That'll help us get to 100, which we like to be at. Let's quickly move on because I want to briefly mention about the Carabao Cup and the draw yesterday. We've been drawn away to Jacob's Arsenal.
You've been waiting a good 50 minutes to get that in, haven't you?
Yes, I have actually. And the thing
might as well
is,
have done it at the start, mate.
The thing is Jacob's in a win-win situation at that game. And Lee Johnson made those comments, didn't he? At the end of his interview, where he said, "We'd like Arsenal or Tottenham away, and then we'll save the really big guns for the two-legged games." It was nailed on. We were going to draw Arsenal away, and there you go. That's what's happened. Are you happy with the draw, Terry?
Of course I am. Over the moon with the draw. That's what Lee Johnson wanted. Lee Johnson must know we're going to win.
Do you think we're going to?
No. Any game away from home against the Premier League side is going to be very difficult to win. We need Arsenal to probably play the third team for us to have any sort of chance, but that's not going to happen. Right. Arsenal in a fantastic run of form at this moment, mind. Up in the 5th place, unbeaten about 5 or 6 matches. They've really turned the tables.
All right, this is the most stupid question of the night. But,
it's not possible, Philly. It's not possible. Yeah. You've already had it. You've already said it.
No. We've had the most stupid answer of the night. Thanks to you. Right. Stupid question number 2 then. Jacob, are you happy with the draw?
Yeah, I wouldn't have minded who we got, to be honest, Philly. I mean, listen, we've done amazing to get this far in the first place. So I know a lot of people before the draw was made going on about I prefer an easy a Brentford or someone like that at home. I really didn't mind who we got, to be honest. And I think there was a video going around of a lot of our fans reacting to the draw, celebrating the fact that we've got.
Yeah, I saw that.
I didn't agree with that. For me, that's just shown how far the club's to be honest. It wasn't for me.
Right. Just very quickly on the chat, somebody's put, I've lost it here. David K. Philly, are we up by Easter? Maybe not. I don't know. Can we all come and stay at yours then on the night of the quarter-final? Jacob, are you going to put us all up?
Well, what's either the 21st or the 22nd of December, isn't it?
Just funny. We're not really going.
I need to know dates, mate.
Michael. Okay, Michael, are you happy with the draw?
Well, whoever we're going to get was going to be good, so you might as well make it aside that for Jacob, obviously for location-wise, he can get down to the game, can't he? So it's convenient.
Is Phil going to Arsenal in a Santa outfit?
When Johnson made those comments, you just knew that it was going to be Arsenal or Tottenham. It was going to be one of them two. So it's an occasion. There's no pressure on us. It's all on Arsenal. We've done really well to get this far. Let's just hopefully we don't get embarrassed and just give them a game.
Right. Okay. Malcolm Thorpe has made a comment on it. Do you want to read this or shall I read it?
Oh, is this the careful Michael will block you if you don't agree with him? When he blocked you, MB can't take an argument. Don't be a dickhead then. Simple as that.
Michael!
I have absolutely no problem with anyone disagreeing with me, but if you're going to insinuate that I don't talk sensibly because I disagree with you, then sorry, you're getting blocked. No. So be pleasant then.
Look, we all have our disagreements on here, but Michael does talk loads of sense.
Yes, he does. He does. And he used to be good with the stats before he used to be good before the stats.
For that. Things took over.
Before he couldn't be bothered anymore. But, so there you go. Right then. God. So what we do, we move on to Sheffield Wednesday on Tuesday night. Almost 4,000 fans going down. Me and Karen were doing the commentary on Saturday of the Rotherham game and said that we were going to sell our tickets. But we're not. We're still going to go.
Yeah, man.
When we go down there and win on Tuesday, then everything's going to be fine. Terry, can we bounce back? Have we got a good chance on Tuesday or not?
Yes, we can win on Tuesday because we'll ring the changes. We'll need to make the changes. Simple as if Lee Johnson does his job and makes some changes and reward players for playing well and drop players that have stinkers, then yes, we have a great opportunity of winning. Sheffield Wednesday, they're the draw specialists that have drawn the last 4 matches. So can we go there and win? Why not? This is the team I would start on. I'm not sure about the formation, but I will keep it the same.
Here's the whiteboard.
And I would start.
Tactics board.
There we go.
Can you see that all right?
I can't.
That's better.
Right, so personally, I'd bring Burge in. We can't drop Winchester and we can't drop Serkin because there's nobody to take their places. So they've got to stay there. Now, Alves, the way he performed with his pace and speed, it could actually help Winchester a little bit. And I originally thought Bailey Wright because he did so well against QPR on Tuesday. But also Younger did nothing wrong in the cup matches either. So I'd be happy with either one of those two. But probably Alves and Bailey Wright. Evans comes in, rests Luke O'Nien. Neil keeps the place. Embledon for 45 minutes, his first game back. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because I think Pritchard's got a bad neck, could be injured. Stewart keeps his place. Now this is where we've got to make the changes. We need people on the wing who are going to put a shift in, do the donkey work and track back, run their socks off for 90 minutes. Gooch needs to come in to help Winchester out. O'Brien comes in to help Serkin out. That's the team that has to start on Tuesday if we want to bounce back, and hopefully it is only a blip, but only if the players stand up and be counted on Tuesday.
It's only a blip. That's what he said.
Is it?
Thanks, Terry. I said it was only a blip. I tried to get that across to you, but you wasn't having it.
Only if the players stand up and be counted. There's no point in them going out there, picking their noses and doing bugger all.
Right, look, very quickly, because we are running out of time, so I'm just going to chuck this round to you all. Jacob, would you take a draw now?
No.
That's it.
Yeah,
Simple one-word answer.
Michael?
Win.
No, I wouldn't. If we'd done well against Tottenham, Rotherham, I might have done, but no. We need to win.
Terry?
Look at people like always want to be on Gooch's back saying he's shite, this, that, and the other. But he puts the work in, does the donkey work. Diago didn't do that on Saturday. He needs to be dropped. There's nobody else to come in, to be honest. There's nobody else who can bring it the team. Pritchard's injured. The rest of the team's probably injured or suspended. And again, O'Brien will do the donkey work. And, you know, we kind of keep on playing Doyle and Flanagan. If they're going to make the mistakes and have bad games, they need to be rested. Need to be shown that you can't just walk into this side if you played a pile of shite the game before. They need to find a way to sort of want to come back fighting. Well, what's the point of having a squad? What's the point of a squad of players if players don't perform? I'll just walk back into the side again, be perfectly fine. You cannot.
Like you said,
Simple as.
It comes to standards, though. That's the whole point of having a
Exactly.
squad where your standards have got to be kept high to be in the team. That's the whole point.
Well, there has to be that. There's got to be that incentive.
Exactly.
Like we said earlier. Let's take a quick prediction from you then before we go, Michael.
Okay, I'll say 1-0 Chef Wed. I'll be nice and pessimistic. I'll be the Dominator.
Terry?
We make the changes, the team performs, you win 3-1.
Right, happy with that. Jacob?
2-1 to the lads. Keep the faith.
Yeah, I'm going 2-1 as well. I've got to stay positive on that. Right, look, we've run right out of time because we had so much to talk about that shit shower of a performance.
See? 92 likes on the channel, 200 people watching it. Give us a thumbs up for God's sake, man. Come on, get us over 100 likes. What are you doing? All you got to do is press the goddamn button.
Terry, can I ask you a question?
What?
Have you ever considered having a job as a motivational speaker?
I'm shy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This stream proves otherwise.
Right.
There we go, 100 likes. Thank you very much. That was much appreciated. Thank you. Way.
That's down to Terry's motivational speech.
Right, listen, a couple of things I need to tell you about coming up on the channel. Myself and Kaz are going down to Sheffield Wednesday on Tuesday, so we will do the fans in the van. We'll do a live stream. That'll be at 3 o'clock on Tuesday afternoon if you want to join us for that on the journey down to Sheffield Wednesday. We are still going to have a live commentary of the game, Sheffield Wednesday versus Sunderland. And who's going to do that, Terry?
Me.
Terry is going to be doing the live stream for us on our channel, and hopefully we'll get us over 7,000 subscribers. We are so close now to 7,000. So hopefully we can get the subscribers. It is free to subscribe. Don't forget, you can just hit that button. That will help us. And if you are going down to Sheffield Wednesday, myself and Kaz will be outside the ground doing the fan cams after the game. If you want to get on the channel, come and have your say on how you thought the lads played down at Hillsborough, then you'll find us outside the away end. You'll see there'll be the big light on there. So come over, have your say. And if you don't want to be on camera, come and say hello to us anyway. So that really just about wraps up tonight. It's been a feisty one, hasn't it?
Well, that's what people wanted, and they've got it.
Yes, Terry.
It's feisty, but we're all still friends.
We are all friends. And we're all going to
SAFC friends.
Yeah. So that does wrap it up. Thanks for joining us on this edition of the Sunday Bunch. Jacob down south, do you want to say bye?
See you later, guys. Have a brilliant week.
Thank you. Terry, say bye to our lovely viewers, will you?
Bye.
Halloween
Extra hand.
I don't know.
Ready for the trick or treat.
Michael, say bye to everyone.
Take care, guys. Thanks
The
again.
squishies.
Please remember to like and subscribe to the channel, and we will see you back. We'll be back on the channel on Tuesday. We'll see you then. Thank you and goodbye.